Greetings, Drisia. Ariana had begun wading through the sea of the ancient tasks. We have yet to fish out any promising cures for her condition. I did, however, recall something which may help narrow down our search. Long ago, Lebrod had one particular book which he would read with uncommon intensity. I've forgotten the title now, but I do remember what is inside. It's drawing the murderous deranged killer who executed as a heretic in Ishgard. This criminal said to be committed numerous religious murders, carried out with the most peculiar form of thaumaturgy. I merely thought it a regular choice reading material at the time, but now I wonder if that peculiar form of thaumaturgy is what kept Lambert glued to its pages. It sounds possibly awful, and yet I just gave us the clue we've been missing. I'll see if I can't track this memoir down. I understand it's quite a rare volume when it comes to hunting down elusive treasures. It may be worth consulting with a professional treasure hunter. 'Nightkin'. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, Nightkin. That was the title. It was written by a killer who was thought born of fiends. Such belief it was serving Brino as a crazed heretic in Ishgard. But I suspect the truth. He was much like Limbard, a mage who delved too deeply in the forbidden arts. And you say the book was seen in Gabriel Library? I have not entered that place since showing had departed this land. What of you? Like a backyard hand, eh? Well then, I'll vote for you to be our guide. I wouldn't know known that the library guardians turned hostile. Sorry, area, but you'll remain behind. No sense putting you in a situation where you'll be forced to fling spells. So, is to the library we go? It's back to the library. It's back to the library we go, then. Let's not dwindle once inside. We'll strike directly to Quandrangel and leave as soon as require the tome. From what I remember, the book Lombard would have read is the fair of thickness and bound by a lever covers. Hopefully it will not be too difficult to find. Alright. It's more layer than library now. Alright. Some more. I guess there was a lot more than I'm surprised the someone that came back. I understand the desire to protect these one's questions, but these guys seems a touch overzealous. I guess you have a fair point. These guardians are kind of overzealous. If my hunches were to be. Oh, that's rather unfortunate. Control is up ahead, just a little further now. Here we are. Now to find that book. Pile of books. The Difficult Night. Not this one. Sketches of Divinity. No, not that one. The tome we seek is the title The Night Kin. Is it this one? goodness. Oh, this is not... Oh. This is rather unexpected. Ayo. I'm descendant of demons, scion of a tainted blood. It is for my brethren born into darkness. For the night can I pen these words. Holy men will assist my teachings or madness, reveling a deranged killer. But you will learn all I scribe henceforth the ultrage truth, is ultrage truth, and their faith is the twisted lie. Ah, interesting. You did well in there. I don't know requiring a book from the library is to be such a strenuous endeavor. May I see the tome? The other seemed convinced of his demonic heritage. I can see how the clergy of the time would have passed by these writings off as heretic delusion. The spellcraft contained within is not an incoherent rambling. Within his words, this mage provided specific instructions on the work in forbidden sorcery, let alone that Lumber has spent so much time studying in the tome's secret. But there is more, much more. Let us return Idrishai. Arya needs to hear this. I just finished slugging through the last pages of Ninekin. There were truths to discover which made it difficult to continue. Amongst the mounting sense of horror, I found hope. Thus I bid you listen until the end of my tale. I should begin the author himself. Okay. So this man who wrote the Ninekin was not merely some disturbed killer, but a mage who had mastered the arts of the ancients. Exactly so. A century ago in Ishgard, this monster immortal guide devoured all manner of forgotten texts, teaching himself at every from red magic to Madaiji summoning rituals. The secret his seemingly exhaustible power lies his bloodline. He was directly descended from the Malachi archmages, who then ingest the lifeblood of the void-sent Queen Lilith. In fact, it was this very archmages the vile practice infusing ones of the void-sent blood first began. I believe I told you how the Red Mage outlawed these rituals, but the damage had already been done. Lilith's insidious energies has been passed on at the Archmage's heir. This clan of ether-drinking spellcasters known as those who were born into darkness, the Ninekin. The revelation which truly shook me, however it was yet to come. I discovered that Lombard was a scion of the Night King clan, and quite likely, so are you, Arya. What? The author's book was The Cow-Wise Family, surname shared by Lombard. With no small amount of interpretation, I determined to look once more at your family records and learned that the name Clowise, his name, was also prevalent on your mother's side. This can be no coincidence. Are you saying that voice-sent blood runs in my veins? That explains why my preternaturally strong affinity for black magics. When I remember that Lombard was of a similar arcane disposition, the connection is even more obvious. He had no need to ingest fiendish blood. He simply woke the corruption which had always lurked within him. The rituals for doing so were clearly described in the pages of the Ninekin. Again, it is doubtful concerning the their complex requirements. My theory is that your latent talents were stirred to wakefulness quite by accident, though your introduction into the rings of the red. I wonder, however, why the same agony took years for lumber to curd so swiftly in you. Any native villainy, mayhap? Whatever the case, this unstable condition was triggered by your desire for control. Certainly explains Lumber's parting barbs about the injustice of your fate. All is not lost. There is a way to undo the curse of your lineage. The first child was truly lifted to her physical world, providing a mortal host for her soul to possess. He stood unflinching before the fiendish queen he had summoned, and forged her with a bargain of blood and darkness, which the archmages had partaken in her essence. He, however, entrapped inside heavily glimpsed box. Her returning from thus captured, Lilith was unable to return to her shadowy realm. Exactly right. Defeat the poison and the curse upon your blood is lifted. Even we few should stand a chance against this lesser incarnation. And though the book makes no mention of the event, it is entirely possible the box passed into his possession. Our surest bet would be to follow his footsteps. Rest and prepare, my friends. We have an exciting adventure ahead of us. Wait. Gotta wait. What's this? Child of Lilith. Are you ready to depart? The journey I have in mind will take us to the mountains of Garabaria, where we visit the Zagara built by the Red Mages of Eld. Lambert and I explored those ancient ruins, searching for the knowledge of the first incarnation of red magic. That was long ago, before I met Curtis and joined the revolution. Before I realized the manner of hidden wisdom for which Lambert had been truly seeking. The emphasis itself has now been overrun by Quarren, but thorough expedition could still unearth something valuable. Mayhap the secrets behind Lambert's occult transformation. Arya, my friend, I ask you remain here and continue confidence, and no spell casting. Not even look at the flame to light a candle. In your weakened state, ye know not how suddenly hunger might return. What would you do if the positions were reversed? After your state afflicted condition, you knew you might find a way beyond the mountain? What then? You would? Not the slightest hesitation. Even a flustered Dracea here. If you respond so apathetically is the reason we have no qualms about doing the same for you. Aria's worked so hard to master the skill. I'd imagine it'll be hard to refrain it from training for a while. She must recover from her exhaustion first. Before on naught else. Come, Drisse, the Zergorads awaits. Rest on Aria, we shall return swiftly as we are able. Traced in blood. Oh. I'm a fool. Of course. Let's begin our station, shall we? Be on the lookout for stone tablets bearing the histories of the Red. Did I mention it was our forebears in the Indikar who constructed Zagharat? It was built to suppress the unstable weather that was whipped up in the wake of that era's calamity, sort of damming in the way that slowed the land's raging currents of ether to a trickle. In time, however, the Zagharat also became a library, where successive generations of red mages enshrined their stories and their secrets. It's a shame that so many of these precious slates have been lost to plunderers, or simply worn down by ravages of time. As such, I do not expect to find fully intact records of Boris' ghastly rite, but at the very least should discover the hands with transfer ritual it entails. Take one way, I'll take the other. Take another. We will both take care not to fall prey to quarren bandits. Why am I hard casting Bird Thunder? Here we are. There's one stone tablet. How do you fare? I've discovered a number of tales myself, which, while possibly fascinating, offers a little subject on occult rituals. Chip, charred, chip, cracked. Interesting. Oh, if I'm reading this one correctly, you may have exactly found what we are looking for. What? It appears to refer a record from a time before a mage was unified by distinct discipline. The passage describes a rite by which one can make a pact with a voice ent, and is engaged with blood exchange for the supernatural power. Even amongst their kin, certain creatures of the void harbors a voracious appetite for living ether. Lombard must have acquired the ability to siphon his victim's life form from one such fiend. And the practice of questioning is said to start of the family Medici sorcerers, who lived in the era preceding the Sixth Umbral Calamity. For red mages, whose orbs draw so heavily upon their own ether, there is an obvious, if distasteful, advantage stealing foes' life energies. If one can employ such energies to fortify and sustain one's own form, as Lombard did, then one can even wield magics beyond limitations of ordinary mortals. Not surprisingly, however, its tendencies to result in an either starved madman led to the right of being declared a forbidden art. Interesting. There's more. Some mention the outcome of concussion would serve to state the hunger for ether when living bright was unavailable. The helpful describing has even included a method for its preparation. Aya's transformation is strikingly similar to Lombard's. Surely this concussion would prove effective in curing her condition as well. Let's see here. If the main ingredient is a chunk of semi-crystallized ether, such a substance could be drawn from the core of the otherwords. I'm thinking the bigger the better. If I recall correctly, there are otherwords to be found in the east, vicinity of the Sleeping Stones. Pray, find yourself one of the larger specimens and procure the ethereal core. Once you have what we need, we can rendezvous at Hamlet and Le Magare. I shall busy myself collecting other ingredients. Interesting. Let's do this one first. There we go. Were you able to cure a suitable core? I do, man. Here it is. Yes, this would do nicely. Enough to create decent-sized dose at any rate. I gathered together the other greens, so all that is left to do is deliver them in the hands of an experienced alchemist. But iron must be more than where we are. Why don't you go ahead to illustrate and unveil our progress? I'll meet you as soon as I have finished handling the potion mixers and moved on. I am returned. Oh yeah, pray drink this concoction. I shall tell you that our discoveries in Gaia Braina. By the gods. The taste was not exactly pleasant, but I feel much recovered. It's as if a cool stream of water was poured out of a fire in my chest. I don't know how to thank you. Your smile is the finest reward we could ask for, but I ask you not to become complacent. That tongue is merely to help replenish your depleted ether. It will do not undo the underlying affliction. For now, according to what I found in the Yellow Jacket's incident records, the span of time that elapses between your kingdom and subcontinent rescue was not terribly long. And for much of your ordeal, you were shut inside of Osk, in a box. It seems unlikely there's sufficient opportunity to perform a highly complicated and dangerous ritual. No, we must look elsewhere for the truth behind your condition. At this point, he'll never catch me. Mm-hmm. Funny moments are just never meant to be done, you know? Interesting. Your fellow student had his most astonishing dream. Why don't you tell her about it, Aria? hid away from the world, it kept a coffin-like box black as night. It was, sides marked the jagged lines of purple. Unblinking Inquisitor broke through the door with a company of knights. Half the soldiers were ordered to hold the man way to the tribunal, while the others seized the coffin. This coffin you describe is the very image of McGuire told of containment. This is if you saw visions of the past events. Found on tales of those memoirs. So, it's to Ishgar then. Alright. That's interesting. So it's to Ishgard. Interestingly enough. Alright. Ethernet. The Tribunal. Sour-faced priest. The last vigil? Alright. Of course. It's a pretty beautiful view, by the way. In case you haven't noticed area. I mean, it's on like a... Well, I'm talking to myself for some reason, I just don't know why. How long would it take for people to notice that I was recording? I assumed maybe a month or two. I have to give it a time, who knows? Maybe they will pay attention to it. Consistency is key after all. Huh? There it is. Could look over the entire state up here. Couldn't wait to see it for myself. So you are fond of high places then? It's kinda... Burn this site of Ishgard. Fill the empty spaces of the wonderful Fisties. So you have no memory? Interesting. That's interesting. So, yeah, that's like from, gosh, it was back in, let's say, Les Nazosa? I don't know, like, I couldn't remember, maybe not, it's hardly for me to say anything, really, it kinda hardly, I don't know, it's kinda hard to say. Honestly, I'm kinda terrified you don't remember who you were at all until we give you a name. Yeah. That contentment feels... I don't know how it feels, it's just... I've been there for myself. Once or twice, maybe. The power to fight against fate that would left me hollow. What? The resting place of liveless prison. Incredible it is for you to say the coven in your dream matched the description Heretic's box, purple lines and all. The Inquisitors were apparently unnerved by its fell energies, that they casted the thing into Raveny. The place of the question is no delightful name, the Witch Drop, and it's to be found at Corthus Highlands, swarming of voice and, or so I told. Shall we? Yeah. Today's the day we could fight it. Today is the day we fight. Alright, and it's time to do this. Just... Witch Drop, eh? Witch Drop, eh? Well. Wonder why they call it Witch Drop for. Why is it called Witch Drop? Because I don't quite understand that yet. They kind of swarm all crawling with fiends to describe. Are they drawn to live this dark essence, I wonder? For sure. Fine. Felt like they did tell me 3 times. Considering your current trouble with spell casting, you best stay close in any case. I don't know what happens now. Well, I don't know what happens now. It's hard to say. Guess we'll go through here? Yeah, we'll go through here. I think it has to be this one, is it? Is it? Over here? Weird. There it is. Ooh. What? That's the... Only one bearing my blood gift may break the seal. Slay this pretender. It spoke. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's sealed with magic. I'm assuming that Arya is... This is weird. Got bad vibes about this. I had a bad feeling about this, but I not gonna like it. Uh-oh. God's above. That's Lilith? Immortal glory. Host? You seek to possess Arya's body. Strengthen their line. Lombard. Oh. Do not listen, Arya. Her words are poison. Uh-oh. This always meant to happen. Parents. No. Don't. No. Oh, gods. Son of a... Shh. Ariane, no. Where could they have gone? God damn it. That wounded me. Okay, that's just... that really put a wound on my mental. Well, I just... God, it hurts so much. God damn it. Arya moves as if in trance. Liv must have some hold over those who bear her blood. It was our dream that led us here, into a trap. If we ought to believe the hissing serpent, this meeting was just 1,000 years in the making. Exacting preparations. God damn it. Oh man. This wasn't the part of the plan, Arya. This wasn't part of the plan. Managed to escape. God damn it. Lilith's word yet echoed in my ears. Deny not thy destiny. Thy life was molded by my hand. Arya became the right mage to gain control of the freight. Oh, and I'll be damned if we abandon her to this one. But first things first, we must expend every effort towards finding the place of the voice and taking our colleagues. The ritual preparations will not take forever. It's not what I was hoping. And for Uda? To Ulda then. To freaking Ulda. Let's go, let's get this over with. Just... Okay. She's even more sinister than I imagined. With no mage in her present in the past millennia, I thought little would destroy. Yet Anguish seems very much alive and exceedingly dangerous. Her fearsomest aspect is the power to enslave a person's will. If we include all the whispers of horizon in her veins, she has slivered inside the minds of a veritable army. The sigil employed by this Limbird of yours is a second-hand manifestation of Lilith's ability. He would but need to coat a two with his tainted blood, then engrave her name in the flesh of his victims to create unthinkable puppets you described. And that was but a faint of echo of her true power? Correct. A power she will not hesitate to bring upon mortals. So she so despises. Archmage Calvus made doubly sure when lured her into his trap. As well as the talent draining of her life force for her prey, Liv is also known for spitting venom. A truly hideous opponent. But the archeries came prepared with the potent antidotes. Undone by her summoners of treacheries and limitation to her mortal hosts, Liv found herself digested her beloved rod and sealed inside Makari's scoporants. And threatens spend the next 1,000 years plotting her escape. It is as you say, but mere freedom is not her game. Above all else, I imagine Liv desires a form which allowed her to manifest the fullness of her terrible power. She means to invest her soul within a perfect vessel, thus enhance her strength to her carnation by an order of magnitude. A perfect vessel. Lilith carefully orchestrated Aria's conception over the span of centuries. If we do not oppose her now, I dread to think what havoc such a cunning and powerful thing could wreak upon Eroisia. Look what she has accomplished already. So subtle her manipulations. You know, a single with a knife can realize their plan and or sought to destroy her. What was this whole... This has been all very enlightening, but we're no close finding Aria. Have you any ideas? And in order to vest herself with a new host, Lilith will need to recreate the condition of her original summoning, faithfully as possible, aligning in alignment of stars, weather, location, that sort of thing. Location can tell you, assuming the ground has fallen in the abyss, Lilith has taken her friend to a summoning ritual into the ruined city of Makai. Oh shit. So you've been to Weeping City? No getting there but the airship and a pilot, eh? Oh, but not worry on it. We know the very person who can help us on that count. Deputy President Jesse of the Garland Ironworks. I shall contact her immediately. It's... So it's time then. I've been in touch with Jessie. After that assassination business, as she puts it, she's more than happy to lend us a company ship. You have been an immense help. How can we repay you? Well, the gratitude of wealthy merchant is the fine thing to have. Right, this time we're off to Revenstall. Jesse will be waiting. And adults. Right. Do I have antidotes? I do. I have 3. I have 3. I should be fine. I kind of wonder why I kept those antidotes around. You know, I'm happy I kept those antidotes around because I'll probably need them, like, much later on. After getting this job to, like, after, like, getting this job to 70, I figured I would have just kept the antidotes for whatever the reason was. It just feels kind of random, you know? It just feels weird. It feels weird. Hey, Jesse. Zarun told me the story, and I have an airship ready to fly. I'll call you after this one myself. I decided to return the favor to Arya, and I don't go back on my promises. Shall we go? I'm marooned on the northern bank of the lake. Well, fortunately, I have 3 antidotes, so that should help me out. Speaking of antidotes, let's put this down here. Let's go. Where is it? This is the same before last time? Oh yeah, it's over here. Same thing as last time where we fought a Limbard. Alright. Let's go then. All aboard, folks. I don't know much of this demon witch, but you send her back to the void when the CR is safe and sound. Yep. Conditions be damned. If we kill Lilith, it will probably means, it will probably mean the Alright, it's time. Okay, let's go. Look who's here. Lilith. Alright. Alright, Lilith. It's time. Oh. Oh! Not today. Thank goodness. Alright, Louis Lane, come back to us now! Damn it. Why won't she awake? Oh no. What? Is love gone? Huh? 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 What? Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is something else, I guess. It was a hard-won battle. Your heart is still carried the day. Yeah. Back to Mordona. Back to Mordana. Alright. What now? It was not a successful rescue to put a smile on my face. It's worth it to have a companion on back. Our companion back, safe and sound. When you're training, you sure feel changed within yourself? Your productivity spoke hasn't properly lived his blood. That of corruption's faded your veins, so has your aptitude for arcane. I always wondered how you take the news, but you seemed almost happy. Don't overdo it. You're the heart of the red mage, that is for certain. These figures needed to leave us. Sooner or later. Bye, Zern. Take care. This means Zarya will be here now? Yeah. Very early. Tearful reunion. Tearful reunion, huh? Yep, that's for certain. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised Lilith didn't even spit venom yet. So, I guess I'll keep this around just in case. So, yeah, that'll have to do. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.